Welcome back to Taja's Garden. I am the garden realtor, and today we're going to be fixing up my front garden bed. As you can see, this is completely overrun by weeds, so we're going to be clearing everything out, taking all the weeds out, the mulch, everything, and putting new plants in here. And I'll show you guys what we choose. We're going to go on the journey together to the store and see what is good for this garden bed. Putting everything here in this wheelbarrow, and the reason we're putting it in there is because this is going to be compost for my garden. The good thing is when you put your weeds in your compost, it actually breaks down into more nitrogen, so that's perfect, a perfect addition to your compost. Most people would think that the weeds would bring more weeds, but actually if you have a good ratio, if you have the perfect ratio, it's going to heat up to 160 degrees and all of the weed seeds are going to be killed in that temperature. So you won't have to worry about any weed seeds. Everything should break down perfectly. So if you're looking for more nitrogen, more green, I'm pretty sure you got some weeds around that you need to get rid of. Make sure that you go do that and add it to your compost. It is getting dark out here, so we're just going to stop where we're at. So this is day 2 and I'm in Lowe's with my neighbor and we're going to look at some plants.
Dianthus, and it's a mounding perennial, but and they come back every year and they spread. Ask Grover.
Oh, okay.
But we want a brand called Knockout. That's a Knockout. When you plant a shrub or something like that, or any flower, you need to water it quite a bit that first time you get it. Well, not the first time.
Yeah.
The first year.
Yeah. Okay. Blooms.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a lot of stuff, so I don't know how much this is going to cost. This is how it looks right now. And we're back. This is a whole nother week, and I did not think this was going to be as much work as it is, but this is how far we've gotten. We went through here and my husband tilled this soil, and we realized that this is clay soil, so we have this Miracle Grow potting mix that we're mixing in before we put our plants down. The reason I'm cutting these off is because these are root bound, and we want to make sure that the roots go down and out, and these were just too root bound to get anything, so it wasn't going to do anything. It wasn't going to be healthy. The plants were probably going to die if I planted it like that. Okay, we are finally done. Well, we haven't put the mulch down yet, and a weed barrier, but we're good, I think, for now. We've put all the plants in there. I'm not a pro, so don't take my advice on any of this video. This is just what we're doing, and we're hoping that these plants survive. But this is how they look so far. Wanted to put these spruce trees that we put right there and right here. I wanted to put these spruce trees right in front of this house, right here, in front of these two columns. But when we started digging through to mix in some good soil, it felt like there was some concrete down there, and I know that the spruce tree's roots are going to go deep, so I didn't want to put it there and just set it up for failure. So I decided to put it in front of the window. And then we have this Royal Burgundy barberry right here in front of it. And I guess I'll just continue to shape this up where it doesn't overcrowd those two spruce trees. Then we have these grasses, ornamental grasses around the edges. That one got over, it is really soaked. I planted it in the ground before we tilled it, and we have clay soil, so that is just completely soaked. We took it out. My neighbor told me to just let it sit over there and kind of dry out a little bit. So that's what it's doing. And once it feels like it's ready, we'll put it in the ground over there. But we have ornamental grass around the edges. And then we put in some phlox, purple, which is my favorite color. And we also have pink little flowers over here, which these flowers are annual, so they are not going to last forever. But everything else is perennial, so it's going to stay and come back. That's another phlox. And here is another phlox right here. Of course, in this corner we have a beautiful, being sarcastic, crepe myrtle that was already here. There is absolutely nothing you can do to ruin a crepe myrtle. It comes back. Nope. No matter if you trim it or don't trim it. So it's starting to bloom. We did not trim it, but they actually grow extremely fast, so we will definitely be trimming it this year. And then of course we have our hedges, which needs to be trimmed. There's one, and then these hedges over here need to be trimmed. And we are back. This is going to be the final part we've gotten so far. These are ornamental grasses that I have lined up on the edge of this walkway, or the edge of the flower bed. Then in between I have a couple of petunias, which brighten up the flower bed, and they look a little sad now because we just had a lot of rain, but they will perk back up. And I have some phlox here, which this is going to be purple flowers, just like this one, purple flowers. Over here I have a couple of more ornamental grasses around the edges, and another one over there, and I'm going to add one more back there. These are two burberry bushes, which are going to grow big and round, and these are some spruce trees, which I put these here so that it would grow big and just really, well, it's not going to get that big, probably about this big, but it'll really bring attention to this big window here in the front. So let's get to work. Let me know what you think. I think I did a pretty good job. This is really my first year really trying to get into flowers. I am 100% all in when it comes to vegetables. I'm going to take care of my flower bed, my front flower bed. And I was doing research because every time I use the weed barrier, the weeds still come through. So when I learned about the term solarization, I will put the definition right here. I was like, I have to try it. I looked as much as I could to see if it was a bad idea to put it where my flowers were, and I didn't see anything negative. If you guys have any opinions on that, please let me know down in the comments. Like I said, I did as much research as I could, but it never hurts to hear from someone who has experienced it. If you've already noticed, now I'm going to be posting 2 times a week. Every Monday and Thursday, you will be expecting a brand new video from me. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time. And if you want to be a part of a gardening community on Facebook, I've created a gardening community, and just go to Facebook, type in Prosper and Plant, and I will catch you over there too.